Hello and welcome to yet another episode of Grange TV. We have with us Mr. David Roberts, TAFE Extraordinaire Education Mogul.
Yep.
Mr. Robert Whittaker, thank you for coming here, as always.
Look at us go on a weekend special.
Yeah, today's a Saturday for us. We just finished training. And yeah, we're here. We're going to have a very special guest with us today, Mr. Alistair Overeem. So for anyone that's...
Super stoked. Like, been a long time fan, we both have.
Mate, huge fan. I think anyone, even if you're not a fan of Alistair's per se, but you have to give him credit for his body of work, who he's been, and he's won everything and been in, I don't know how many fights, I can't even count anymore.
65, MMA only.
No, surely not.
Yeah.
65 MMA only?
Only, I'm pretty sure,
Dave,
65.
Dave, can you close that door?
As
please?
well as, and then I think 15 K1 or kickboxing, I don't know. I'm pretty sure though he's about 65 MMA fights only. That one I'm pretty certain.
That's insane.
Actually, let's just ask him.
We can ask him.
Let's bring him in.
Hello
Alistair.
and welcome.
Hello. Yeah.
How are you, mate? You good?
Yeah, good. Installed.
We
I
were
put some gel in my hair, I'm ready to go.
nice. We were just talking about your background. Like you've had, how many MMA fights have you had, Alistair? Because I just want to give a kind of resume of to all your achievements, but we just got stuck on how many fights you've had.
I think 65. I just saw on a thing the other day. But I have kickboxing fights as well.
Yeah. I was just saying that to Fab. Like, I know because I looked it up. Like, you've had 65 just MMA. That is a massive number.
I think one more which has not been listed, and then I have, I just put them all together. I have 91 fights.
Yeah,
that's a lot of fights.
That's a lot.
And the thing with you, like the fights that you've had ups and downs in your careers. You've resurrected your career. You've won just about everything that there is to win in fighting. You won the K1 title as well.
Only UFC missing, so we're still on a mission.
Yeah, but you're right up there in the mix with the UFC as well.
And you've been mixing it with them for years, like decades.
Yeah,
23 years or something like
that. It's been a long ride. Like my first fight was '97, and I was 17 years old. I was still very young, and I fought a guy who was 28. It was in my hometown, and then I was like the little brother. My brother Valentine fought before me, so he was kind of like a little bit infamous. And then everybody wanted to see the little brother, so it was a real fight. It was exciting. It was, if you lose your first fight, you're screwed, right? So a lot of tension there. I think now you could have considered that an expedition fight or a amateur fight. But for me, I just put everything together. It was a real fight. No commissions. No, if you lose, you lose. You win, you win. It's been a crazy ride. 22 years fighting, 26 years training, still enjoying it, still liking it. I do feel I'm getting a little bit older.
How does that transition occur? Like, what is it that you feel in your body or in your mind, or what is it that you feel when you say you feel you're getting?
So your recovery is going down. So usually, like I remember back in the days, you can just go out late. Next day, you just go to the gym, you train. And now, if I go out, I went out the other day. I went to Full Moon Party. Full Moon Party, by the way, is right over there in the other alley.
Oh, really, with the Full Moon Party being that close, it's practically going home.
It is. No, but and I didn't go home late. It was 1 a.m. that I was back in my hotel, right? And the Full Moon Party goes till sunrise, till 6 a.m. or something. So that is the difference. You're just tired to go home. Kids are here. They're waking up at 7 in the next day, and you're not training next day. You're taking it easy. I'm training today though. So Full Moon was 2 days ago. So today, 2 days later, you're training. And usually, 20 years ago, I would go straight to the gym, just go straight to training. Yeah. So the recovery is down. In return, you get more intelligence, right? You know what you want to train. You know what you don't want to train. You know how to treat injuries. You know how to eat. You know how to treat your body.
Yeah.
And not everybody's kind of doing that properly, but I don't know, I do.
Because I off the back of that, I got a question that I've been dying to ask since I got in touch with you, is that like for someone like as yourself who has reached like the highs and won multiple titles in multiple different federations, and like how do you keep that hunger? How do you keep that drive to wanna not just fight for a living, but to try and achieve to be the best, to run for titles? How do you keep that fire in you after you've already achieved it?
Yeah, well, it's a couple of things. First of all, you must be able to. So you have to take care of your body, right? So I've been doing that from day one. I don't know. I always went to the physical therapist. I always did my massages. I always did my stretching. I always did my food. And then, your body is able to, even though because of age, I feel that it's going down a little bit. I'm still able to keep up with the young guys.
Mm.
So, but taking care of yourself is number one. Number two, I would say always keep learning new things. After a while, people figure you out. And once you've been compromised, the next one you're fighting, he gains confidence. So you got to always create a new version of yourself, right? Create new weapons. So this takes some time to study, takes time. You have to put time into it to actually create new styles, new weapons. I think if you look at my career, throughout my career, you can see my style change. After a loss, there's like a little bit more changing going on, right? Because when you lose, you're like, hey, we're going to step it back up.
Mix it back up.
When you win, you're like on the high, right? You're not really thinking about anything. But when you lose, it's like the wake-up call. Yeah. And for that, you might have to travel around a little bit, right? Because if you stay in one spot, which is going a little bit against our nature, because we want to kind of stay together, stay with the team, stay with the same sparring partners. Well, in my career, everything has happened. Coach has been dicks. I've been dick. Everything happened. So you switch teams, and it didn't happen every week, every time, but a couple years, and then you can kind of feel the chemistry is depleted or it's a little bit low, and then you just need to switch it up, or you need to stop, right? One or the other. But I don't know. I like my lifestyle. I like training. I like competing. So for me, stopping was never an option. I never even thought about stopping. Right? Even on my lows, I've had some lows. You had a couple losses and everything is not good. But I never thought about, hey, to be honest, I wouldn't even know what else to do.
Yeah.
I can't do anything else.
Yeah, because I've noticed.
I actually.
No, go please.
Yeah. I actually can do something else. I can teach. I just love to be on the mat, and I enjoy actually teaching other people. I can teach beginners. I can teach kids. I can teach privates. I can teach seminars. I actually like to do that. So that'll be my next thing.
Okay, so that's what you envision yourself moving into after fighting is what, coaching and that sort of avenue.
Yeah. I'll become a coach. I don't have to coach. I got plenty of money, plenty of investments. Everything is under control and looking good. But I don't know. You got to do what you like, right?
Yeah, 100%.
Otherwise, time goes slow.
Alistair, at the start of your career, because now you just said you said you can't do anything else. Actually, I can coach. But did you run a magazine back in the day? Was that you?
Yeah. So I've done a couple of things, right?
That's
so
a pretty
one of the
big
things
thing,
that
though.
I did was, yeah. So we actually founded a magazine, and it was in the Benelux. So that's Holland, Belgium, and Luxembourg. We were, and I was more in the background. It was mine. I did run it. I did. I had a team that worked under me, and it's one of those things that you're still hungry to take over the world, and hey, let's do this, let's do that. But quickly you learn, hey, wait a minute, this is actually a lot of work that goes into it and a lot of responsibilities. And again, when you're doing something that you like, flows, goes easy. When you're doing something you don't like, time goes slow. And I've had some shitty jobs when I was growing up, 13, 14, 15. And that, the magazine was really nice to own it, to make decisions, to create something. But then after a while, it just really felt like a lot of obligations, and it felt like that the shitty jobs I had when I was growing up, and something that you got to try stuff to know that you don't want to do it. So that's how I see the magazine.
What are some of the shitty jobs you've had, and does that help you now to put in perspective? When you're training, you're doing something you love. Does it help you put in perspective when maybe you think back to some of the shitty jobs you've had?
Absolutely.
Well,
Absolutely.
what's some of the shit ones?
So I've kind of always worked. When I was 13 years old, I was walking papers. That was kind of okay. Then I had another job. It was actually when I was 14, and I moved from my dad. My dad lived in England, and then I moved back to my mother in Holland. My parents divorced when I was 6. And then it was half the school year, and halfway the school year, the schools don't accept new students. You have to kind of wait till the big holidays until the next season starts.
How old were you?
So my mother was like, I was like almost 14, something around there.
Right.
So my mother was like, yeah, you're not gonna sit home and do nothing. You're gonna get a job. So that was actually also the time that I started to train. Right around that period, training every day. So took my ID, went to the job center, and there was this cute girl working there, of course, older than me because I was still young. So yeah, she's like, yeah, we got something perfect for you. So she's putting my data in the computer, and the next morning I had to report somewhere at 7 a.m. Still very young, 14 years old. Yeah. So I report. It was not far from my home, and was a waiting room, a lot of people there. Everybody's kind of like nervous, real early. So after 15 minutes, this guy comes in, and he's like, okay, everybody. He didn't even introduce himself. He's like, okay, everybody follow me. So we're walking in this factory, and you 3 help over there, you 4 help over there, you 2 help over there, the rest follow me. So I was kind of like just put somewhere on some station with some other people. It was a conveyor belt job.
Oh.
So there's a conveyor belt, there's a box coming, you grab the box, you open up the box, you take 16 whatever's in there, 16 units, 16 deodorants, and you put them in a box of 8 and you duct tape it back closed. So that was my one of the jobs.
How long did that last?
That last 4 days. I just couldn't do it anymore. 4 days. You're not allowed to sit also. You got to do it standing up, because I kind of was doing it sitting. And then the guy, he was walking around. He had these papers in his hand. It's like, hey, stand up. Let's go. And it was just like terrible. Terrible. It made $4.35 an hour.
$4.35.
No. That's converted into dollars. $2.10 an hour.
Oh my God.
Before taxes. And of course, there's inflation and this and that. So this is a long time ago. This is like 26 years ago. But the feeling that created that job, it just always kept with me, always throughout my entire career. I never forgot it. Because you come to the bigger question, right? Hey, where does this motivation come from? Why do I like what I like? I know what I don't like. And that was that job. No money, long days. Not a good outlook.
Mm.
So I always, going into every fight, I always had that with me.
That's a good way to spin that. Is like, I know what I don't like. I really like that.
And then training is really fun, right? Training is fun. The fight is also fun, but it's also tension and excitement. But I do like fight day. I do enjoy it. But there's also the unknown factor in there. I don't think fighting is healthy for you. I don't think it's good for your heart. But still, you win. It's like great, right? So that's like whatever. But training is just really nice. Training, the lifestyle, it makes good money.
Mm.
So I do really enjoy fighting.
On the back of that, like what drives you and stuff. Like, have you like do you pay close attention or any attention at all to like mental health and like just keeping yourself positive and like making sure you're like everything's flowing really well upstairs and things like that?
flowing well upstairs. You mean here?
Yeah, yeah, exactly that.
Okay, so I'm very positive from myself. I don't talk to a mental coach. I mean, I have positive friends. I've created a positive environment, positive people around me. But I never had a mental coach. No,
Okay.
no,
Because
no, never had. I mean, and for everybody it's different, right? Some people swear by it, but yeah, I've been approached by some people. I've had a little talk with them here and there throughout the 26 years. Yeah, I don't know. I'm a go person by myself. I don't need somebody to kind of light that out for me. But again, for everybody's different. For some people, it can work. But I never needed it previously.
yeah, because like I've
You?
noticed, me, I don't have like a mental coach per se, but like I have taken like a bigger interest in the last few years of just like doing things that are good for my mind, if you would, like making sure I'm in positive environments, making sure when I'm going home,
Yeah.
I'm doing things that are good for my brain, like either slowing it down or stimulating it in like a healthy way, sort of things, and just making sure that I guess upstairs balance, that I'm overall, I guess, happy.
Well, that's the Thailand thing, right? That's this. This is good for the brain.
yeah, yeah. I know.
So that's why we have that in there. Yeah, I've been coming to Thailand every year, 4 to 6 weeks a year. 4 to 6, yeah, 4 to 6 weeks a time per year. So reset a little bit, enjoy. I'm always training, always staying fit, always staying healthy. But just get your mind off things, because I train in Denver, but Denver's snow world right now at the moment. And yeah, I don't know. Snow doesn't make me happy. Does not make me happy.
yeah, I've noticed though with your training, so like you're kind of semi-nomadic-ish with your training. Like you'll travel a lot and you'll train in one place for a while, and then you'll move to another place and you'll train for a while. Is that kind of the like what exactly is the reasoning for that? Is that like just to keep things fresh and exciting, or is it just to like escape Denver when it's snowing?
Well, no. So I always train, right? You always have to stay fit. So you always have your strength foundation stuff happening, and I know I always have a list for myself that I need to train, I need to improve. So because you have your basic conditioning that you need to keep up. When you're fighting main events all the time, 5 rounds, you gotta do that. Otherwise, you're not gonna be good for 5 rounds. Uh, and yeah, Thailand. I don't know. My career has been so long, so I have contacts all over the world. I can train all over the world. You have cool guys, good guys, and you just, I've got some time. Let's go over there. Let's look them up. Also, usually it's combined with appearances. So I was in Australia as well. Actually, twice I was there, and then I'm training. I'm staying fit, doing some appearances. Here in Thailand, it's not really appearances. In Bali, I did an appearance. So usually I mix it with an appearance. Do some appearances. I'm actually going to do South Korea in the summer, some appearances, and train a little bit with the guys over there, Korean Zombie.
Oh wow!
So yeah, just enjoy the ride.
Yeah, 100%.
If I would be in one spot all the time, that would not work well. My motivation. That would not work well for my. I couldn't even like a regular life 9 to 5. I couldn't even have it.
Yeah.
Early on, I already knew that. When I did the city job, I already realized that quick. No, it's not for me.
Alistair.
So what is for me? I could become a soldier or something. That's something that also interests me when I was younger, but I just happened to be a fighter.
On that, so who were you, like, say, if we were at school with you, if we were in high school with you in year 11, 16, 17 years old, who were you at school?
Okay, so when I grew up, so 10, 11, 12, a lot of energy, just running around, wrestling, doing the WWE moves, in the sand, just pissing around all the time. Reasonably clever, up to date, creative, like to draw, but just love to move, a lot of energy. Then after I couldn't go to school that 6 months. It was like 6 months I couldn't go to weight. and then I started to train every day, then my outlook on school changed. And then when I eventually did go to school, I was way more focused in school because I realized, hey, shit, otherwise, you're going to do it for a reason. So when I was 16, 17, way more focused. 18, I got my diploma. And at that moment, I chose to pursue sports. So I just trained. I always trained every day, but then I just turned it up a little notch. Quit school and just trained.
It sounds to me like you owe a lot of success to that conveyor belt job.
No, it opened my eyes, right?
Yeah.
Opened, it's like, hey, you better do something or this will be waiting for you. And of course, now there's like, the other thing I would attribute to my success is I never forgot that conveyor belt, but also, I've been making good money since I was 21 years old. Actually, I kind of always made money, but 21, I started fighting in Pride. And then it was really good money. And I never lived like I had good money. So I always kept it on the down low. I never really, because when you're living like you have a lot of money, you're spending your money. And then you're back to zero, right? So I just always just chilled, trained, kept training, kept focusing. Was not really occupied with spending my money. Just be financially clever.
You were born in England, is that correct? Were you
born in Hounslow? Yeah.
And then your mum and dad split. Is your dad's originally Jamaican?
Yeah, dad is Jamaican and my mother is Dutch.
I read something. I don't know if this is true, but they're like your mum's from like a royal line or something. Is that true?
Yeah. So okay.
So you're
the story
sort of
goes as follows. So yeah, wait a minute, you broke up. Now I'm gonna tell you the story. So the story is as follows. So there's King Willem III. This is like 100 years ago, 120 years ago. He was very wild, and he had a lot of kids out of his marriage. And my great-grandfather was one of those kids. He had like 40 kids. So my great-grandfather doesn't have a title, so he's not recognized, but he did get compensation from the palace. And that's it. So there apparently is some blue blood.
Wow.
That explains a lot.
What does it explain?
You have a certain air, Alistair. A certain air. That must be it. Yeah. That must be it.
Yeah. When you walk into a room, it just lights up.
Now we know. So it's a royal presence. Blood. It's a royal blood.
It was funny because after I won the K1 title, I got invited to the palace in Holland. So we're having lunch at the palace, and I actually brought it up because I'm like, hey, cute. So how? They were not amused. I can tell you, they were not amused. They did not like to talk about it because, of course, it was a scandal, right? Because King Willem III. I said, "Oh, by the way,
I think by the way, cousins."
No, they quickly changed the topic, changed the direction of the thing, and that to me was like, "Oh, okay." I didn't expect because I was kind of a little bit naive back then, right? I was like, "Hey, cool. It's like a funny. Let's see what's there." They didn't like it, and of course, now I get it. It was a scandal. King Willem III didn't have the best reputation. He was drinking a lot, partying a lot, like a little bit of crazy king.
And so then you have an older brother. How much older is Valentine than you?
So Valentine is 3 years and 3 months older.
And how much of an influence was he to you?
So very big influence in the beginning, because in the beginning when when I had that little break from school, he was like, you're coming training. So he actually forced me to come with him. I didn't really have a choice because in the beginning I didn't really like it. I was like a skinny boy, kind of athletic, a lot of energy, but when you don't know how to fight and you're all of a sudden in a room of all these monsters, big guys, I didn't really like it. And but he kind of made me come and yeah, then slowly I did like it, then I didn't like it. Sometimes you want to do other stuff, you want to play video games. For them, it was not a choice. It was not an option. It's like, yeah, you ready? Your bag ready? No. Well, get your bag then. So it kind of big influence there. Um, Later, our paths did separate because he was just doing his own thing. He would also train at a different gym. In the beginning, we trained at the same gym, but later he switched gyms and he trained at a different gym. So later, the influence was not all too big. And training-wise, yeah, we would not train too much together as well. So the influence was in the beginning big, huge. Later on, not so huge.
Okay.
He fought in Pride as well, back in the day.
Yeah, Fallen Pride. He was big in rings. Yeah, big in the international, in the European MMA circuit. He also had a couple fights in the Strikeforce.
Oh, wow.
I saw footage, I think, of you when you. I don't know if this was correct, the time frame, but you must have been young, like 17 or 18 or something, training with Tyrone Spong. Would that be correct?
Tyrone Spong, I think I was 24.
You looked young, but anyway.
We have footage in my documentary that I'm 24. I was fighting for the title then. That's actually when we started to do the documentary, and I was sparring with Tyrone. Yeah.
Okay, and you've fought him since, eh?
Yeah.
Is that?
Yeah, we used to train together 7 years. Then we had a fight. So 2000, 2007, we trained together. Then we fought 2010. And then later we trained again together at Black Zillions a year.
Is that hard? Like, was there bad blood between you?
Well, we never really vibed right. He's very different than me. To be honest, I don't like him. So yeah, I was very happy to fight him. Very happy to beat him. Yeah.
Fair enough.
When you don't like somebody, it's a little more sweet, right?
And
no, it was actually very easy.
So, but there's been you guys from in Holland. It happens a lot where you do fight each other. Is that correct? Or guys that have trained together, they fight each other a lot in kickboxing?
No, not too. I mean, Holland is small, right?
Right.
So the gyms usually do not train together. Usually it's compartmentalized. Everybody kind of sticks to their own thing. But yeah, it can happen, right? Like me and Spong or me and Saki.
You and Saki fought each other, yeah.
Yeah, we were actually more close. We were actually kind of okay together. Yeah, trying to get a couple of years, and then we fought in.
We were in Japan.
Finals.
We watched. Remember when he fought in the UFC? You were sitting next to us.
Yeah.
We were in Japan.
Yeah, you were sitting. Yeah.
So you know when you fought Saki and he had a broken arm, did you know his arm was broken before the fight?
No.
So they didn't tell you to target that arm or anything? Did you figure that out throughout the fight?
I didn't even know till after the fight. But he wasn't throwing. It was his right hand, right? Yeah. He was throwing his left. So he was fighting different. But I didn't know it was broken. Didn't know it.
But you picked up on it that he was fighting a little different in that, or did you? Can you tell us about that fight more than anything? I'm just curious.
I had my plan already in advance because we sparred already several times, and I kind of knew how to handle him. Very dangerous striker, very good striker. High volume, strong, a lot of dangerous kicks. But I kind of already knew how to fight him. Same as Spong. I trained with him for 7 years, so I kind of already had an idea in my mind. Okay, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. I'm not going to do that. Same with Peter Arch. I fought him once before, so I kind of already knew, okay, this is what we're not going to do. That's what we're going to do. So, when you have that experience already, it's like a big difference, right?
That
can adjust or not.
What was
There's no surprises.
What was your hardest fight in K1?
It had to be Butter, right? We're 1-on-1. And a lot of attention worldwide.
Yeah.
And he's a phenomenal striker too, man. But all those guys, Saki, Peter Arts, all those guys have amazing resumes. Fighting for a long time, all of them.
Are you and Butter on good terms, bad terms? Was there bad blood going into that for in real life? Like, was there?
Yeah, a little bit. Then, by now we've trained together. We trained together 5 years ago for a little bit. There's mutual respect. I mean, we're not friends. We're not on the phone or anything. We're not like this. We're not in this setting.
Yeah.
No, but there's a mutual respect. He's doing his thing. I'm doing my thing. I'm back into MMA because K1 was a adventure, right? What was it? 2 years. 2 years. I did it 2.5. And now we're back into UFC. So we're not competitors anymore. We're not going to be fighting anymore.
Okay.
We had a little thing going, and I mean the world enjoyed it. It was a great time.
I had a question for you because you fought in K1 and Pride, Strikeforce, and UFC. Which rule set did you most appeals to you? Like, because I've spoken to my coaches a lot and we've discussed on the podcast a bit. Like, I kind of miss those Pride rules. I never fought in Pride, but I like those rule sets. I kind of like really like. Well, what's your opinion on that one? Like, which one would have to be your favorite?
Yeah, I like Pride. I mean, there's a little bit more, the stomps and the kicks to the ground, the knees, a little bit more brutal.
Yeah.
I think UFC is more civilized, better.
Yeah.
Right, for the mainstream, for the worldwide acceptance. I can never think or expect that foot stomps would be, because UFC is even in Holland and it's in Australia, and I believe that even Australia is also strict. Canada, these are strict countries. Government doesn't like the cage fighting thing, but hey, wait a minute, it's regulated. It looks good. There's international rules. I think foot stomps will never be accepted.
Do you remember the fight Vanderlei Silva versus Yuki Kondo? Have you seen that fight? And he got stuck in the corner of the. And Yuki Kondo is like, I'm not disrespecting him, I'm a fucking big fan, but he got stuck like in that corner, and Vanderlei stomped the shit out of him. If you wanted to make it legal in any country, and you showed that, it will never get regulated. You'd probably go to jail just for showing the video. Like, do you remember that fight, Alistair?
Yeah, I do. And he was foot stomping everybody.
Yeah.
So, except Mark Hunt, he didn't foot stomp Mark Hunt. I actually attended that because I visited many Pride events, and I didn't visit the Yuki Kondo one, but the Mark Hunt one I did. Mark Hunt was a late replacement. That was an exciting fight too.
What was, because we like, you were still probably in high school then, but I remember because I used to train at the same place with Mark. It was in a backyard, and I remember I saw him before he went and fought Vanderlei and after he fought Vanderlei. And he just came back like his knuckles were hurt. But what was that fight live, watching Mark and Vanderlei?
That was super cool because Mark Hunt was a K1 guy, no ground. So, wacht even, ik ben er weer van de video, Billy. Yeah. So it was I think it was like a late replacement or something. And Mark Hunt was known, of course, as a dangerous striker, but no ground. So it was like a hit or miss. If it's going to be in the striking, it's 50-50 because Vanderlei is also a striker. But if once it goes to the ground, then Vanderlei's got it. So Vanderlei was the light heavyweight champ, and there was an event light heavyweights versus heavyweights. So it was an exciting fight.
Only in Japan that stuff happens.
You got light heavyweights versus heavyweights
versus each other.
Yeah. So it was good, and it was especially good because wait, you guys are breaking up.
Yep. There we go.
Wait, you guys are breaking up. You were back. No, it was exceptionally good because the fight dragged on. And Mark Hunt was not easily beaten. There was not really a takedown, and it was only in the last round there was. And then the decision fell, and it went into Mark Hunt. Mark Hunt scored some knockdowns over Vanderlei. So it was overall a very exciting fight. And the Brazilians, the shootbox guys were a little bit the bad guys, and then Mark Hunt was kind of considered as a good guy. That's a little bit how Pride did it, right? Yeah, the good guys and the bad guys. And it was fun also, a good guy against a good guy was fun. A bad guy versus a bad guy was fun. I think I was one of the good guys.
Mm.
So yeah, it was a very fun event.
What do you
But I
think
was pissed after. Lost.
the organizations? What was like fighting for Pride like versus fighting for the UFC versus fighting for Dream or K1? Not necessarily which one was better, but like what were the experiences like, and which ones have a place in your heart over others, so to speak?
So Pride, of course, will always have a place in my heart. Amazing events. K1 will also always have a place in my heart. Still miss it to this day. Dream is actually the Pride team continuing, but less budget. And that has transformed now into Ryzen, because Dream is no longer there. Bellator is the previous Strikeforce team. New team, even the president, right, Scott Coker. I didn't fight for Bellator, but you can just see it. Strikeforce, I did fight. Okay, if I compare it all to UFC is just way more massive organization. You see it on everything that they're doing. They're doing it grand. Their social media is on point. Their promotion is on point. So UFC is just a worldwide organization, whereas Pride was only Japan, maybe Korea as well. K1 was kind of a world organization, but they missed the promotional tools that UFC has. I think that's also why K1 never broke through to the world. I mean, it's known all over the world. People miss it, but it never kind of capitalized on it. Never capitalized on new markets. Didn't have new fighters flowing in. Okay, which other promotion do we have? That's it, I guess, right?
Strikeforce, that was the only one that, yeah. What was Strikeforce like as well? Like same kind of deal? Like it just...
Yeah, Strikeforce was good. I've had a couple fights there. 2006 was my first one. And I noticed by the time, 2007, I won the belt. And then there was like a little gap because they didn't really have heavyweights. And I kind of went into K1. Then when I fought at Strikeforce again, it was 2010. And I noticed a big difference, 2007 to 2010. Fedor had signed with Strikeforce, which really bolstered the heavyweight division. But they also signed Verdum, Bigfoot Silva, Andrei Arlovsky. There was Brett Rogers was running in there. So they actually had a real strong heavyweight division. And at that time, 2010, Cormier. Yeah, Cormier was also, he came a little bit later actually. But they had a stronger heavyweight division at UFC at the time. And that's also one of the reasons why UFC bought Strikeforce, 2011.
Did you train with Sergey Karatonov ever?
Yeah, couple times.
What's he like? Just curious, what's he like?
Strong big dude.
Yeah, no, because I've always been a
Strong
fan.
big dude.
Is it crazy?
135 kilograms.
How many?
So Sergey's...
I don't mean...
Sergey's funny because Sergey, I fought him twice in Pride.
Yeah.
And he was always a scary Russian. I beat him the first time, and the second time I lost him. He was just a very scary Russian. And Russians at that time were a little bit mysterious to me because they wouldn't really communicate a lot. There's a language barrier there too because their English is not great, but also they're not showing emotions.
Sorry, sorry, we missed it.
It was just part. After
we missed it. Like it didn't.
Yeah, when Russians don't know you, they will not show the emotions. So in the beginning, I just really thought of Karatonov like a scary guy. But then later, we actually trained together at Golden Glory. He actually went into K1. And super humble, friendly guy. Super friendly guy. Now, I still train with him, I would say once a year when I go to Thailand. Usually he's here. And super friendly guy. Very, very, soft when you train with him, right? Not hard or not injured. I mean, we can spar, we can kick each other's ass. But usually he's very soft, very gentle. See, very nice guy.
I love hearing that kind of stuff because, like, I only ever saw him as a fan, obviously. So he used to come out. He used to come out like he was like a ex-Spetsnaz or something, wasn't he? Like some sort of special
like
forces.
a special forces guy.
Yeah, he'd come out in his special forces gear, and he was like hard as shit. Like he was just like a hard dude. And just watching as a fan, like like I didn't know if he was like legit crazy.
Yeah,
or,
is he like that or not?
Yeah,
but
that's.
I think with him he was like that because he was special forces. He was a tough, and I think throughout the years, I noticed that with me, you become a little bit more chill, right? The fire goes a little bit down, a little bit, a notch.
He was one of my favorites. I loved watching him. He was so crazy.
Yeah.
Your dad is so your dad's from Jamaica. Is it correct? Is it your great grandfather founded a village in Jamaica?
Yeah. So my great grandfather was a slave, and then he got freed, but he was a paid slave. So and then he purchased some land, founded a village, and that village is still there. Small village though. I mean, when in its peak, it used to be a lot of people there. But I was just there a couple months ago, and it's not. I think it's like maybe a couple hundred people living there. Back in the peak, it was a couple thousand.
So is your dad in England or Jamaica?
So my dad's actually in Thailand right now.
Oh, he's with you?
Yeah. He's in a different city, but I'm going to see him in a week. We're doing the island, but we're going to go to Pattaya for another 2.5 weeks, and he's there waiting for us.
That's so cool, man. I have a question to ask you, and is it true that you and your brother had an altercation in a nightclub over the bathroom? Like you didn't have coins for the bathroom, and you didn't.
This
have
is
coins?
so old, man.
I'm just asking.
It is true.
Yeah, but it's a cool story. Like but I don't know exactly the story. That's why I'm asking.
So okay. These were in the wilder days when the fire was still bright, right? Shining bright. And again, I'm a fighter for a reason. Yeah, I would sometimes get into fights. This, however, was not my fault. How did it go? I went to the bathroom and I didn't have my, 25 cents or 50 cents? 50 cents.
Because you have to pay for the bathroom there. In Holland.
You gotta pay for the bathroom. But I was already in the bathroom, already doing it, performing it. So the guy's like, "Hey, you need to pay." And I was like, "Yeah, I'll pay in a little bit. I'll be right there." But I don't know what his problem was. So he got the bouncer immediately. And the bouncer was a young guy, kind of tall, big, picking a fight. Because sometimes these guys, I've been a bouncer. I did it for a couple months. It's kind of okay. Didn't really like it too much, but it's all right. As a bouncer, you can behave in an escalating way or in a de-escalating way. So this guy, definitely in an escalating way. He just picked a fight with me, came in my face, and just started a fight. So that escalated quick. And he had some colleagues, I think like 6 colleagues and the manager. So there's like a group of 8 against me and my brother, and we had one more guy with us, small guy. He didn't fight. Long guy,
but he had to go.
So it was me. Huh?
He had to go.
Did he?
Yeah, that how those little guys are, right? They're screaming the hardest, but then when the shit hits the fan, where did he go? What happened? He was not even there. So it kind of escalated and became a brawl, and
Do you
the
find
rest is history.
You being who you are, or at least in your younger days, but you being who you are and whatnot, that you were a target for people that were trying to instigate fights?
Not often. I think I have a look that people kind of realize, let's not do that. I have to also say, I'm a fighter for a reason. I would instigate also, when I was younger. I kind of learned my lesson to not do that anymore. You become older and you're just not in. Usually, to be honest, I never have problems now. Never have. You grow over it. I think you get over that. the fighting phase. And again, I'm fighting enough already in the gym. I'm fighting every day in the gym. Why would I fight some random guy, which I already know I'm going to beat him up?
Yeah.
But so people,
Right, Robert?
Yeah. No, I completely agree. It's what hit me was when you said like you grow out of it. Like it's so true. Like you grow out of like it seems like why do I want to fight anybody if I'm not getting paid for it? Like it's just not worth it.
Yeah, and then you're gonna get in trouble too, right? That's a little bit the big thing. You get it as an athlete, as a fighter, you get into big trouble if you do it, and yeah, that's not worth it. And then it's like, yeah, why even bother? You want to fight? You go to the gym. You can fight in the gym for free.
100%. You go in any gym in the country, you can punch on.
do you have any?
No, but the altercation, yeah, I've had a couple altercations, but I have to say I'm very happy to report that for years and years now, I'm being a very good boy.
I definitely think that now you said you have that look where I know people think nah, not a good idea. You're definitely rocking that one.
Did you?
Yeah, I never, and I have to also say that I avoid places where people are drunk and this and that. Right? If you're gonna be go clubbing every week, you're gonna obviously be in that situation a little bit more often. But I just
Did you want to ask?
No, please.
So Alistair, you were raised in Holland by your mum,
yes.
and so your upbringing was with your mum. Was it with your grandma as well, or just your mum?
Mother and grandmother, yeah.
Did you in like so like all your influences from everything that you did? What was your mum like with you guys fighting? Because I've seen interviews of your mum. Like, what was it like for you as a fighter with your mum? The relationship, like, did your mum like you guys fighting or whatnot?
Okay, so my mother, my grandmother was raised very religiously, and that was not great. So my mother kind of learned from that and was like, you know what, I'm going to do it differently. And she was like all about freedom. You guys figure it out. So we didn't have a lot of restrictions. She obviously didn't like the fighting because she's our mother, and she doesn't want our her sons, her babies to get hurt. That's a little bit the mother thing. Kan die deur dicht, alsjeblieft? So, but other than that, yeah, it was more like figure it out, do what you want to do, just be happy. My dad, on the other hand, taught me two different things that I always will remember. He told me, whatever you do, you make sure you're the best. And he also taught me, if somebody bothers you, you hit him so hard, he will not even think about bothering you again. So those two things always stuck by me. Which I think are also relevant into my future career, right? Yeah.
You also a lot of people don't know, but you as a grappler, you were European ADCC qualifiers champion, and you won every match by submission. Am I correct? Did he hear?
Wait, you broke up. Can you repeat, please?
I just said a lot of people don't know. Like, I think one of the things about you is how well-rounded you are as a fighter. You were the European ADCC qualifiers champion, and you won every match by submission. Is that correct? Was it every match by submission?
Yes, guillotine choke. Yeah, guillotine choke.
How extensive was your grappling training, like overall?
Well, okay, so I was just training for MMA fights, and a request came in. Hey, do you want to compete in the ADCC Europe qualifier? And I had nothing to do. My coach was like, "Hey, you want to do it?" I'm like, "Oh yeah, sure." So I just that's how that came about. I was not really training for it. I didn't do anything special for it. I just very random. And then once there, I had like 4 matches, or 3 or 4 matches, and I just submitted everybody.
But you didn't go on and compete at ADCC, eh?
No, because I had a fight in Pride.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, and that, of course, for me was priority over ADCC. ADC was fun, was nice, but it was never in my goals.
At the moment, are you doing a YouTube series? Like a TV series?
Yeah, so I have my own documentary. We started shooting in 2004 and finished in 2006. That became a movie. We have not released that, but that's about the Pride 2005 light heavyweight Grand Prix. After that, 2007, we start filming for a sequel, which we never made, but that became a webisodes. The Ream. It's like online documentary. You can go to alistairOvereem.com, docu. Can go in there. It's a lot of episodes. It's a lot of hours altogether. Again, I'm not a big fan of seeing myself on screen, but I have to say it's very well made, very well done, and it's going to take you to Strikeforce. It's going to take you to K1, to everything, to everywhere.
Yeah.
It's done good.
Yeah,
it's behind the scenes. Yeah.
I've seen a little bit of a couple of the episodes, and they go like real behind the scenes. Like you can't sort of see that anywhere else.
Yeah, yeah, and now with UFC, it's a little bit restricted, but yeah, and the frequency of the episodes went down, but still, I think if you look at the whole thing, it's still a remarkable piece of work.
Yeah, you've obviously dabbled in a lot of like the documentary, web series, like webisodes, and putting together different sort of videos and stuff. Do you enjoy that sort of stuff? Because you've been doing it for a long time.
Well, okay, so I just have myself be followed, and they need to be creative. I'm not like a host or a presenter or like a commentator or something. I'm not good at that stuff. And again, we want to avoid stuff we're not good at, right? We don't enjoy.
Yeah.
So I just have the team follow me and do all the work.
Yeah.
Right. We didn't bring them to Thailand, but usually I would bring the team along on Thailand, and they're kind of doing their thing, and but now they're not here.
It's probably the right way to do it, to have that natural, organic vibe.
Yeah, well, and the other thing is like, because we've been doing it for so long, there really is a lot of different footage, and I think I was kind of the first to do it, to put it online so everybody could just access it. So yeah, I think it's one of, of course the titles give you world fame, but I think also the online documentaries also did a great job for promotion.
One of the things that I noticed with the Ream documentary series, because I actually love watching it. I've seen probably not the latest few, but I've watched all the ones before that. And one of the things that I like the most is you see what it's like after losses. Because when you win, it's, when you win, it's good. But when you lose, I think letting people into that vulnerability of you having lost and what it's like. And I think that's that's the thing that got me watching it. You know what I mean? And also I think one of the things when I watch you fight, I want to see you fight. Not, of course, I'm going to say to you, I'd rather you win, but there's a human element to it. I don't know if I'm making sense with what I'm saying. It allows a human side.
You make total sense. And yeah, because so we got inspired by the Smashing Machine by Mark Kerr. So the Smashing Machine, I don't know if you guys saw it, but that had Mark going to Pride, and it was kind of like huge, but it also showed his substance abuse. And yeah, we were like, hey, let's do this, but then we're going to do it better. We're going to do it like athletes. But also the bad sides of the sport, and that you're going to get your head smashed sometimes, or in my case, a couple frequently sometimes. So that needs to also be in there, right? You have your highs, your winning, and your lows. So that just both need to be in there, in my opinion.
Yeah, I see.
Otherwise, it becomes more like a commercial, and yeah, then people are not amused by that, right? I would not like it if it would only be highs. No.
But it definitely shows like a certain amount of vulnerability, a certain amount of just realness to the whole thing. I think I watched one of those the Reem episodes where one of your friends fought. I can't remember who it was, and he lost, but you were actually cornering him, and then you were speaking to him and you're saying to him, what do you think you're gonna just? I'm not saying you didn't say it this like you said it with more compassion, but you basically said to him, what do you think you're just gonna win every time you fight, you know? And I think that message is lost with a lot of young fighters, not just fighters, but a lot of people just going into business or going into doing anything. You're not just going to win every time. Sometimes you're going to invest money, you're going to lose it, or you're going to lose fights. And no, I just think that was really, really cool. That's one of the things that really resonated with me, I think. So if anyone wants to watch the Ream. I think it's really good.
Yeah, I think we did a good job, and I gave because we've been working with the second team now. The first team, basically, we both gave both of them creative freedom. So they as long as it's cool, it needs to be done in the right way. But again, to avoid it becoming just a commercial, a promotion of something which is like not really realistic and would not be cool.
No.
So if you could,
Guys, I have to go to the bathroom, so give me 1 minute, give me 2 minutes.
no worries.
Is that okay?
It's no worries, mate.
Okay. You're going to call back 2 minutes?
Yeah.
We'll call you back.
Call back.
Okay, perfect. Call me back. Yo, ciao.
But thoughts, Rob.
Hey?
So thoughts on the interview so far?
I always get like captivated during these interviews with other fighters, because obviously living in Australia is one thing. Like, we're so far removed from the scene and from other athletes, but also once we're in Australia, like we're also separate from all the other Australian fighters. You know, so I don't get to talk to other fighters a lot. I don't talk to a lot of other fighters, and to be able to speak to someone like, Alistair, I've been a fan for a long time, and to see someone who's been fighting for like over 20 years,
23 years
in this sport is just out of this world. So he's got so much knowledge and foresight that you can take a lot from just speaking to him. And it's not just like, oh, I train in Thailand, and then people are going to be like, well, I'm not training in Thailand. No, it's the subtleties in between. It's about him changing things when he's starting not to feel it. It's about him taking his family with him. It's about him, like all the little subtleties, but between the destinations that are.
But I'll tell you something.
Really cool.
It's not just you doing that, because before you do that, you have to have the skill set to do that. Otherwise, you're going to do that, and it's just going to fall to shit.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So that's what I find interesting, because like the guy is almost 40 now, so it's like 39 years old, but I think he'll be 40 very, very soon. I think he's a couple of months older than me. So like you just watch that and you think like the whole lifespan of what you've been doing and what he's been doing. Interesting, like really interesting. Have you seen the Ream, Dave? No. You haven't seen it? When you get a chance, watch it. I honestly think it's pretty cool. Like I used to watch it a lot before, but I haven't seen the last few years. I haven't seen the episodes. Kind of not watched a lot of like MMA documentaries in probably the last 4 or 5 years. But yeah, really, really, really interesting.
No, I'm really enjoying this, enjoying this conversation.
It's like you're playing poker.
Hey?
It's like you're playing poker.
What do you mean?
Because I'm really enjoying this conversation.
I get when I start talking to like the other athletes and things like that, I get so caught up in what they're saying, like that I start going through thought processes in my head that that I start to have I start to talk to myself in my head, and I'm thinking about 1,000 different things, trying to break down what they're saying and why they're saying it, and yeah, and just like it's such a good conversation to have. He's in a nice location though, eh?
Yeah.
He knows that a holiday. Moon party is he could see from his veranda.
I've never been to.
Never been to Thailand?
I've been to Thailand. Never been to the moon party.
Full moon party?
Yeah.
Probably, yeah, I've never been to one either, but that's a big thing they have there. It's like a big monthly festival.
Have you been there, Dave? Thailand?
You look like the guy The kind of guy that could use a full moon party.
Really? I'll be asleep before 8 o'clock.
You look a little bit like Uncle Fester. Uncle Fester used to, have the moonburns. Do you remember that? Do you remember the
Oh, from
Adam's Family, like the original ones? And he used to sit in the moonlight.
Yeah. No, so I've never done that. Never done that. As soon as he said he had early night, 1 a.m., I was like, that's too late for me. I get tired by 10, 11. It's hard.
Give him a shot.
Yeah, let's go.
The person whom you're trying to reach is currently unavailable.
No.
Please leave a message after the beep.
He's going to smash your head in, David. Just give the guy a break, mate.
Also, when he brought up when we were sitting ringside, I think I still owe him money.
Well, he's not going to get it off you.
Not me, buddy.
He's not going to get money off,
Oh no, because
off Rob.
what were we making light bets on some of the fights? It was me and you versus him and his
The other guy.
partner,
Yeah, he's a good guy, that guy. Can't remember his name.
And I think we lost money, and then we had to go bathroom. We never came back.
I don't think I bet. I don't gamble as a rule. So I think it was just you.
Why would he throw me under the bus like that?
It's not me, mate. I had nothing to
I'm
do
sure
with
it was both of us.
it. I wouldn't have
One
bet.
in, all in.
I wouldn't have bet, mate. I wouldn't have bet.
Not here. Not one in by yourself.
No, I wouldn't have bet.
But yeah, so some gym wars today. That's good. We're having a cold day today, like in Sydney. How are the fires at the moment?
I don't know. The fire's up, but the smoke's pretty bad.
Yeah, it's still real heavy in there.
It was a bit of rain. which
It's
helped,
like,
but
yeah, we're getting a little bit of rain. Didn't they say we're due for like some like heavy rainfall? I've heard like that we're due for some. There's gonna be big flooding after this.
I don't know if there's going to be flooding per se, but yeah, I don't know. Do you want to try it again, Dave?
Yo.
Hello.
Can you get him up?
Yeah. Two more minutes.
Yeah, no worries.
You're good, mate.
What kind of animal are you, David?
I'm glad this is live because he's telling me to call.
I hope he smashes you.
Yeah,
He comes to Australia sometimes. He was here actually at one of the gyms here in the Grange. I think he might have been at Reddy's gym.
A lot of the times he comes over, so
Yeah, I think he was here, Triple X Fight Gym. So next time, mate, you just be careful.
I feel bad trying to call someone while he's trying to go to the bathroom.
or just grab a drink of water or anything.
You know what happened to the last people that bothered him while he was in the toilet?
Yeah.
Hospital, mate. 6 bouncers.
They really have to pay 25 cents to go to the bathroom over there.
Yeah, I know. Like in France and that, like the public toilets, you pay.
Sorry to bother you, mate.
Yo. Yeah, no worries. I was just finishing up. Yeah.
We tried to tell David not to ring you, mate, while you're in the bathroom, but he just did it anyways. So, apologies,
No
mate.
respect.
No respect. We even told him what happened to the last people that bothered you while you were in the toilet, but he still didn't care.
Fearless, this Dave.
Did you ask any? Or?
Are you currently lined up for a fight at the moment, or you still in like a training process? Because I saw in a post you said you cleared at the moment.
Yeah, we are cleared. We're thinking about April.
April.
So that's not too far away.
Yeah, no, that's good.
Looking at the early April. Yeah.
Who's-
Let's get back in the mix.
Through your memory, which hardest fight? When I say the hardest fight, what's kind of like word association? What's a fight that comes up in your head straight away? Hardest fight, like across anything.
I would say myself. When you have some external issues, I had to.
Sorry, you're breaking up, Alistair. You're breaking up.
Mother had cancer.
Dave. God. Hello? Sorry.
What else? A
Uh,
couple things.
we can't hear anything you're saying, Alistair. Sorry.
I don't know, good sleep. You know,
Sorry.
you get some injuries also because you're fatigued.
Alistair,
I would
sorry.
have to say also looking back in hindsight. What that?
We missed everything you said. Sorry. It cut out. Sorry, man.
Oh, okay. Let me restart. So I would have to say the hardest opponent is, I would say, myself. Back in 2006, 2007, for example, I had a tough period. So my mother had cancer, and a very aggressive form, which they kind of gave her a couple months. Eventually, she got the treatment, and she kind of is okay now. But yeah, it was a big shock back then. So that was happening. As well, my daughter was born, my oldest daughter, and she was a crybaby. So the first year, it's just terrible. You know, no sleep, and your recovery goes down. You get hurt, injured a little bit on training, practice. So I would say my hardest opponent is myself when everything is not organized well, when everything is not aligned properly, because then you have injuries, you have your health, your mother, your own health, your home situation is not good because of course your relationship is also under tension when you have a crybaby. So there's just multiple things, and I think you go through it, you fix it, which sometimes takes time. Some things are not fixed overnight. Some things take a year or 6 months, and that was just difficult. You're just fighting with yourself.
How is your mom, Alistair?
Yeah, she's good. She got all the treatment, so they gave her not much time. They gave her maybe 6 months. She had a very aggressive type, but she got the treatment, got chemo, got radiated. They took out the tumor as well, so they gave her everything at once, and she recovered. But then it did come back. It was in her breast, so then it did come back in her kidneys, and that was like a year later. She got all the treatment for that, and now she's she's fine. She's good. She's a strong lady. She's a strong woman. She's tough.
And you're very close with her, Alistair?
Yeah, I would say definitely more close to my mom than my father.
Are you?
But yeah, I mean, it has an impact, right? If your mother, your mother's gonna die. She's not gonna be there anymore in 6 months, or less, maybe.
How did you deal with that? Because I can't I've been through a similar thing, so I know that I was just curious what happened with you.
Well, you go with your mother to the hospital, and you kind of make the best out of it. But of course, it has an impact. It has an impact.
Fuck yeah. What about the best fights that you've had? Like whether you won or lost it, but which fight? When I say best fight, like word association, what comes into your head?
Well, everything is flowing then, right? Training camp went well. You kind of already know it beforehand. You're gonna smash the guy. You feel it, and then you just execute, and it happens. Yeah, I mean, you want to know a specific fight?
Yeah, maybe. Like,
for example, the K1 finals that I won. I competed in 2 K1 finals, so 2009 and 2010. 2010, I won, and it just exactly executed as I envisioned it. I beat my 3 guys, but even in between the fights, how I would recover, how I would stretch, how I would warm up again, I was practicing it a lot. It all starts with a thought, but then I don't know, that's a little bit the coach in me, I guess. I like to kind of write stuff down, schedules, what I'm going to do, and then you're training it, you're actually executing it, what you've planned, and it worked really well. But I already had a feeling I would have won that K1 beforehand. I already felt great, energy was good, the flow was there.
Who would you say your biggest rivals are?
In the K1?
Maybe in K1, or might be somebody, I don't know, sometimes there's a guy that you couldn't beat in under 18s, you know what I mean? Like as a kid or whatever. Mm. But who's the rivals that when it comes to your head, they go, that's the guy that you always had to push extra for?
Well, I never really had rivals. I would say Badahari was a rival in the K1. But so I beat him, and that was actually my entry into the K1. Then he beat me back, which was very exciting because it was the rematch. we were in the finals. He finished his guy really quick. Then I still had to fight. He finished his opponent in 1 minute. And then I still had to fight my first fight. But I already knew I'm going to fight a fresh brother in my second. So what happens, I beat my opponent, Everton Texera, in under a minute. So I beat him quicker than Badr beat his guy. So it was a real build-up towards that moment. And then I lost to Badr in, I don't know, it was the first round or something. So that was a big rivalry. I mean, I remember that it was very lively, very alive all over the world. A lot of fans back and forth. I would say, who else? Verduma had a rivalry, which was interesting. 3 fights over many years. 2006 was the first time. 2011 the second, and 2017 the third fight. So he's also a fighter who has grown tremendously throughout his career. I remember in the beginning he was just a grappler, a BJJ guy, but then later in the second fight, all of a sudden he had, striking as well. I out-grappled him, but he outstruck me, which was also interesting. And then in the third fight, it was kind of like whatever. It's like he grew a lot as a fighter, but I kind of knew how to handle him. I kind of know how to, if you've been watching somebody for, 11 years, 12 years, you kind of know what to expect. Okay, who else did I have a rivalry with? Vitor Belfort I fought twice, but I beat him twice. I wouldn't really call that a rivalry. Interesting note there is I was a big fan of his work up until I fought him the first time. Because when I was 17, I had seen him fight in the UFC for the first time. And instantly I was a fan. I was like, oh, well, who's this guy? Great fights, right? Vitor versus Tank Abbott, Vanderlei Silva.
Crazy fights, yeah.
Carrera. So also Igor Vovchanchyn. Didn't have a rivalry with him, but really looked up to him. I would say, okay, who else? No, not many rivalries actually.
Oh, that's a lot actually. That's quite a lot, man. It's just interesting when you're talking like that, like the time span, because your career has gone like. There's people that have had their whole career within yours, and you've done like 2 careers of theirs. So you've seen...
Yeah, it's been 2 careers, yeah. Because usually career is 10 years.
Yeah.
And then, I've seen people have their debut fight and their final fight, and that's been a full, Like, for example, like Rashad Evans, I think his first fight was 2006, 2007, and he retired like a year ago. So he started and he finished. So it's like, yeah, it's been a crazy long time.
How do you find...
Crazy long.
How do you find the I want to ask you something, Alistair. In all your business dealings and that, all the stuff that you've done with the UFC, negotiating, in Japan negotiating stuff and that, has people, have there, like there's been people left owing you money or anything like that over the course of your fights, of your fight career?
K1 didn't pay.
They didn't pay you?
They did not pay me. So I was walking around with that big fat check, and I didn't get it. The 400K check. It was actually a little bit more. It was more than that. Because it was, what was it again? The final 16, the finals, and then also the what was it? The dream title fight after that, 3 weeks after. So it was, it was a lot of money. They never paid me.
So what happens when a company like that just says, no, we're not paying $500,000, thereabouts? Like
nothing happens.
You can't through legal channels or whatever.
Well, okay, so
just for normal people, just to hear.
Yeah, normal people. So you have a management, and they're supposed to, take legal steps. But it's difficult. In Japan, you have the language barrier. It's just a different culture. It's just a different way that things happen over there. Even though it's a very organized country and it's a very good country, but it's just. For us, it was very unknown. And, to my knowledge, we did not get the money.
Did that mess you up psychologically, like to not get that money?
Well, I kind of knew before I fought beforehand that the company had some financial difficulties. I already picked up on it. And to me, I fought for the belts. To me, it was like, I'm just gonna get those belts, and the rest doesn't matter. And if you have that mindset already beforehand, of course it sucks and blah 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 blah, but it sucks big time. I mean, it's a lot of money, right?
Fucking oath.
Like 800K and change.
Yeah.
But yeah.
You know, Alistair, Rob owes you money. We were when
I know.
Yeah,
I know.
you remember
I know.
that?
He's still bummed about it, and I have the feeling he's been avoiding me too.
Yeah, he
No.
does.
Huh?
He doesn't say anything. That's a whole.
Hey, he's pointing the finger. But remember, it was me and him
No.
betting you and your friend at the fight. It was
No.
me and him. It was teams.
No.
It was me and him
Yeah.
versus you two.
No,
This guy throw me under the bus.
I didn't bet any money. I didn't bet. I genuinely. How is your friend? Your what's his name? The big guy is the what's his name? I can't remember your mate's name. The
Yeah.
guy.
Who did I have with me? Was that because where was it? It was Australia, right?
No,
Japan.
Japan.
Where
when
was it?
Frank Me
It was
fought
Japan.
Mark
Okay,
Hunt.
so that was Benji. Yeah, that
Yes,
was
Benji. That's
yeah.
right. He's a
Benji,
good
yes.
guy.
Zimmerman. So he's a coach now at Zimmerman. So he was
okay.
also my coach, friend, sparring partner. Actually, sparring partner from back in the days that turned into coach. And now he's coaching in Dubai.
Oh, nice.
Okay, because he said to me back then that he was going over to Dubai and doing some stuff and
Oh, you guys
So-
broke up. Hello?
yeah.
Hello? Can you hear us?
How does it?
Hey,
Hello? There you are. Yeah.
yeah.
Hello?
No, because I remember you said that he was doing some stuff in.
Yeah.
He said he was doing some stuff in Dubai, so he's coaching there now.
Our connection is still bad.
Can you hear us, Alistair?
You got me?
Yeah, we
Yeah,
got
I
you
can
now.
hear you.
We're here. We're good.
It's good now. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So he's coaching in Dubai. He's just doing his own thing. Still a friend. We're still WhatsApp. Always good vibes. But yeah, he's over there now.
What's it like balancing? Because you, correct me if I'm wrong. Have you got 3 daughters?
3 daughters. Yeah.
Yeah. What's it like balancing the family with the travel and the fighting and all of that?
Well, I have a wonderful partner, Danielle, and she just supports that, and they're just coming with me as much as they can. It will be a little bit different this year because the middle one is gonna have to go to school, so it'll be a little bit less. But I mean, here and there they can still come. We just have to make a good start with the school, which is gonna start in a couple of weeks. But then, then as much as possible.
As a fighter, what's it like having daughters? My daughter was just born 8 weeks ago, but I ask you as a fighter, would you like your daughters to
Congrats.
fight? Oh, thank you. Would you like your daughters to fight? Do you have a special, what's a relationship like?
So my oldest daughter's 13. She's going to school. She kind of looks like me somewhat, but her character, not at all. She's not at all going to be a fighter, I already know. She's just a very sweet, very soft character. The middle one, I also don't really see as a fighter. She's and the youngest, I don't know yet. The youngest is 2.5. The middle one is 4. But if they would like to pursue fighting, I would support it. Right? I would probably say the same as my dad. Make sure, if whatever you do, make sure you're best. And if somebody hits you, hit them back as hard that they never forget. So I would probably, but yeah, whatever they want to do, right? I mean, you cannot make somebody go into a certain direction, and certainly not fighting. If it's not in them, then it's not going to happen. So yeah, we'll see what happens.
Do they play sports at all at the moment?
Yeah, the middle and the youngest do gymnastic.
Oh, that's great. That's great. That's
And
what we-
dancing. They're just staying busy. They're actually gonna go on BJJ first. BJJ and probably karate or something.
Yeah, nice. Nice. That's what I'm getting my kids
Yeah.
into soon. The gymnastics. Good fun.
Yeah. How many kids you got, Rob?
3. I got 3 of my own as well. But they're just
girls,
No,
boys?
I got 2 boys and a girl, and
All right.
they're just crazy kids.
Yeah, but it's fun, right? It's good energy.
Yeah, definitely.
What if you could look back on your career, Alistair? What things would you have done different?
That's a good question.
I try my best, mate.
Now, of course, there's always going to be, I would do this different, I would do that different, I would make this better, I would make that better. But you're always operating under the what you know at the time.
Oh
right?
no,
I
no,
try
of
to
course,
always
of course,
make,
yeah.
Yeah, I try to make the best and most calculated decisions at all times. Yeah.
But with the benefit of hindsight, because like I understand exactly what you mean. Because people like they say, "What would you do different?" I think, "Fuck, I would have bought shares in Google in 2000 if I knew." You know what I mean? But you don't know.
Yeah.
But now going
No.
like with the benefit of hindsight, and obviously with the mindset that you are going to coach, what things would you have done different?
Well, I would probably made. I don't know. Maybe I would not change anything.
Well,
Maybe I would not change anything.
you've won every major title that you could have. So yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, well, except Steeper, right? And not the UFC one yet.
Yeah.
So no, yeah, I don't know. I think you always try to make the best decisions. I've always done that, and then it is what it is. I mean, yeah, if you can go back and you can turn every event into something favorable, that means you don't have lows. From my lows, I try to always learn as well. From my shitty periods. So yeah, I don't know. Difficult one for me. I don't have one particular thing. Oh, I should have done that. Okay, maybe in my last fight, I should have just taken the guy down, finished him there, because I could have done that easy. And now it was like a little bit a question mark. What happened? And then hey, you get rocked. The judge jumped in. Perfect storm. I should have just taken him down and just beat him up.
Hindsight's great like that.
No, like I'm more meant around your career, not so much around the fights, because the fight's a fucking fight. What do you do?
Yeah. No, my career, my career has been good. I'm very happy about my career. The longevity, the some losses are crap, but I've had a lot of victories too. So I'm happy with my career.
How much?
Because if you change something, you don't know if it's going to be changed for the better, right? Could be a totally different outcome.
What's next for you? Like, how long do you see yourself fighting for?
Probably another 2 years, 2.5, and then it's over. It's done.
Okay. Do you think it'll be hard for you to walk away?
Well, it's a good question. I don't know. I think definitely I'll have I'll be missing something, right? Because now my life is so used to always training for the next fight, so there'll be a huge shift for me myself. But I think meanwhile throughout the years I've built up enough of other things, other activities. My kids. I have 3 girls. This year we want to go for number 4, a boy.
Oh, nice.
These days you can pick your gender. So time for a boy. So I think I've built enough other things that will kind of keep me occupied and inspire me on the daily basis.
Yeah.
I think.
100%.
I hope. Because we're fighters for a reason, right? We like the adventure. We like the adrenaline. We can just hit somebody. We can get hit, stand back up. So that is a certain attitude. But I just see it as we have a lot of energy. I had it as a boy. We just have a lot of energy, and we need to use that energy. We need to do stuff. So that's also why I will never stop training. That's why I will become a coach after this. I will always keep going to the mat. It makes me happy. And I will just keep training, traveling, do all the stuff that I want to do. For me to, and then I know it'll be fine. Right? If I would be in one spot, boring, slow, then I would be unhappy. But I'm just gonna keep myself happy.
When you say all the stuff you want to do, what's that?
Well, I would like to have 2 sons. So that's something that needs some work the next couple of years. And then I'll be teaching. So that's something I have to put a lot of energy in. If all goes well, I'll be having 5 kids. So that also needs a lot of work, a lot of attention.
Massive. That's enough.
Yeah.
That's enough.
Yeah, you know how that goes, Rob. You have 3, right? You still said?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I have 3, but 2 of them are kind of with me, and the oldest one is with my ex, with her mom, living. So 2 of them, and I noticed the house there's activity all day, every day.
Yeah.
It's fun, but it's a lot of work.
It is.
Do you envision yourself because you've traveled a lot, you've traveled all over the world. Where do you envision yourself settling down? Back in Holland?
So Holland will always be a base. I still have my house there, but also Thailand. I just really like it here. So there'll be Thailand, 40, Holland, Thailand, and the last 20, I would say 10 USA, and then another 10, whatever, the rest of the world.
Where are some of the most memorable places you've been? Like, kind of off the beaten track, like that people.
Well, of course, Thailand.
Sorry?
Thailand is awesome, but I also like Bali. I was in Bali. I also like Croatia. A lot of fight fans there. Italy is beautiful. Jamaica was also special, but I would not want to live there. It's just a little bit too far away from everything. America was great, is great, but I would not want to grow old there. Australia I liked actually a lot. Very friendly people, good food. Just a little bit far away, right? It's in that corner.
Fuck, it's far,
It's
mate.
to Thailand and then another flight.
Yeah.
Maybe in 10 years they're gonna create some new technology that it goes quicker. But actually, Australia I enjoyed a lot. I could actually live in Australia.
Australia's
Melbourne
awesome.
or something was actually
Australia's awesome if you could bring us like a little bit closer to the rest of the world. You know, a little bit, just a
Where
little
are
bit.
you guys, by the way? Are you guys Melbourne or Sydney?
Sydney.
Okay, Sydney. So what do you guys like more, Melbourne or Sydney?
Definitely Sydney.
Sydney. Sydney's got beaches. You've come out, but this was years ago. I think you did a seminar around the corner from our gym.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, Sydney's got the better beaches and the iconic harbour and whatnot. But Melbourne as a city itself, it's kind of different. It's more vibrant, more alive, I think, than Sydney. But Sydney's got the nicer beaches, the nicer harbour, the nicer...
Yeah.
It's more iconic. What about you? Which one did you like more?
Well, I did a little bit more in Melbourne. I didn't really do too much in Sydney, but I remember good food, super friendly people, strict at customs.
Yeah, big time.
At customs, they took me aside and they're like, "Yeah, so are you bringing steroids?" I'm like, "Huh?" But that's a very straightforward question. So is that how you welcome your business? So what else? I was in the city on the other side. What's it called again?
Perth?
Perth, yeah. Perth, yeah, was also beautiful. A little bit far away from the other two, right? From,
Actually,
Sydney and Melbourne.
Perth is the most isolated city on earth. Literally is. Because
I noticed when I was flying, there's nothing going on over there, right? Towards there. So
nothing, man. Nothing. So
yeah, but again, friendly people, good food, a big city, real city. So it was a nice trip, nice tour over Australia.
Yeah, I love Australia. It's just so far away, man. That's it. That's the one bad thing about it, I think. So Thailand, you envision yourself being able to spend a lot of time there?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm just gonna sit down and eat a little bit because I ordered some food. It's getting cold. So don't mind me.
Please do.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah, no, I guess it doesn't matter anyways. I think we're going to wrap it up anyways, Alistair. But thank you
Okay,
so
perfect.
much. Thank you so much for your time, man. I really appreciate it. Yeah, thank you, and good luck in your next
Yeah.
fight and with your family and everything that you do.
Yeah, we'll be watching, mate. Thanks again.
Yeah.
Like everything.
Yeah, thanks again. And Rob, let's train together sometime, huh?
Yeah, please. I'll keep in touch now, and yeah, like hit me up.
Actually, where are
You're always Australia, or you travel around?
I don't generally travel, but you know, like if you hit me up, whereabouts are you? You said you're at Koh Samui in Thailand.
Yeah, Koh Samui. So, but otherwise I'll let you. Otherwise, yeah, this is my little girl. Zie je, Jessie, kijk eens even.
Beautiful
Zeg
is
hallo.
she?
Hello.
Zeg maar hallo.
Ask him where in Holland he's based.
And this is Danny.
Hey.
Hello.
Yeah, so I'll just hit you up next time I go. I'll probably go in like 6 to 8 months again,
Yeah, cool.
and then I'll let you know beforehand, and we'll organize something nice.
Whereabouts in Holland are
Right.
you based? Because you do you train out of there?
Yeah, so summers usually I'm in Holland, and Holland is very small. It's like 1 hour you're everywhere. There's 17 million people living there. I live in the exact center. If I drive to Germany, 1 hour I'm in Germany. If I drive to Belgium, it's the south. 1 hour I'm in Belgium. Yeah, so it's just 1 hour around, 1 hour to 90 minutes around, and there's 17 million people, and everything is there. Amsterdam is 30 minutes. The second city, Rotterdam, is an hour. So yeah.
Oh, yo, hit me up next time you're like somewhere.
Yeah.
somewhere around this.
Somewhere
this
near.
side there, yeah.
I'll let you know, and we'll probably also be doing another Australia tour probably next year or something, or end of the year, because then it's your summer.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's figure it out. Cool.
I understand. Thanks again.
Thank you very much, Alistair. Thank you.
Sound good. Okay,
Thanks so
guys.
much,
Thanks a
mate.
lot.
See you
Bye-bye.
later,
Good
guys.
one, huh? Train hard.
Peace.
Kill it. Ciao.
We're still on air, Dave? Still on air? Guys, thank you very much for watching. Tune in. I think we have Rory McDonald on Tuesday,
Yes.
and we will catch you then.
That'll
Thank
be
you very
another
much.
cool podcast. Can't wait. See
Thank you,
later,
guys. Bye-bye.
Peace.